Chagas, and this is news recap. Not fluff, straight to the point. CDC warns face-biting insects and Chagas disease now in 32 states. A man dies in ICE custody. Arizona detention center death sparks federal investigation. Tariff refunds could hit U.S. Supreme Court ruling may force payouts on Trump-era import taxes. VMAs 2025. Chaos, glitter, and nostalgia dominate Gaga, Grande, and Mariah's night. Forget spiders or ants, there's a new creepy crawler in town, the so-called kissing bug. The CDC says these face-biting bugs have spread to 32 states in the U.S., with human infections reported in 8, including California, Texas, and Arizona. Here's the scary part. The parasite they carry, called Chagas disease, can hide in your body for years without you knowing. Around 300,000 Americans could be infected, but fewer than 2% realize it. That includes about 45,000 people in Los Angeles County alone. The parasite gets in when you scratch the bug bite. Symptoms can be tricky. It's fever, fatigue, body aches, and sometimes a seriously swollen eyelid. If it sticks around, it can damage your heart or digestive system, even causing heart failure. The CDC now says Chagas disease is endemic in the U.S., so it's officially a homegrown problem. So check your windows, watch for bites, and maybe rethink that mid-afternoon nap on the porch. Hurricane Kiko is on a slow fade as it heads north of Hawaii, sparing the islands a direct hit, but still packing life-threatening surf and rip currents. As of September 8th, it's a Category 1 hurricane. Kiko has lost strength thanks to cooler waters and wind shear. It could drop the tropical storm status later Monday. East-facing shores should watch for dangerous swells starting September 9th. Hawaii issued an emergency declaration last week to prep resources and agencies in case the surf turns serious. No coastal warnings are in effect, but officials urge everyone to stay updated. The Pacific isn't done yet. A low-pressure system off southern Mexico has a small chance of developing, and Hurricane Lorena recently hit western Mexico as a tropical storm, causing floods and mudslides. The Atlantic is unusually quiet for peak season, but forecasters warn warm waters and strong West African monsoon could still make 2025 an above-average year, with 13 to 18 named storms expected. Quick update, remember that massive immigration raid at the Hyundai-LG battery plant in Georgia on September 4th? Well, it's getting messier. More than 300 of the 475 workers detained, most of them South Korean nationals, are now set to be released thanks to a deal between Washington and Seoul announced just earlier today. The workers will be flown home on a charter plane once a few details are cleared. And of course, the president has thoughts, mixing law and order with a little on-the-job training.
It's a very interesting situation that took place in Georgia. And we heard about it yesterday. At the same time, ICE was doing right because they were here illegally. But we do have to work something out where we bring in experts so that our people can be trained so that they can do it themselves. Does that make sense?
Understandably, South Korea is furious, calling the raid a betrayal of trust after a big investment push. Its top diplomat is even heading to the U.S. to hash it out. Bottom line, Georgia's battery plant is stuck in the crossfire between immigration checks and foreign investment, and the fallout is just the beginning. A man from Mexico in ICE custody died last week at a hospital in Arizona. He had been held at a detention center in Florence after being arrested earlier in August for drug paraphernalia charges. ICE says he had previous run-ins with the law, including 2 DUI convictions in Flagstaff. Officials said the cause of death is still unknown and under investigation. Federal rules require ICE to notify the Department of Homeland Security, the Office of Inspector General, and the Mexican Embassy when someone dies in custody. The agency also emphasized that detainees are never denied emergency care and receive medical attention throughout their stay. This isn't an isolated case, unfortunately. Since the start of the year, 14 people have died in U.S. immigration detention centers, according to ICE. Critics argue that deaths in ICE custody raise serious questions about conditions and oversight, while the agency maintains it strives to provide safe, secure, and humane environments for all detainees. For now, the investigation continues, and ICE says updates will be posted on their website once available. Meanwhile, the story adds to growing scrutiny of how the U.S. handles immigrants behind bars. President Trump is trying to walk back his dramatic Truth Social post threatening Chicago. On Saturday, Trump shared an AI-generated image of himself over burning Chicago's skyline, helicopters flying, and the words, "Chipocalypse now." Critics immediately accused him of going to war with the city. Trump pushed back on Sunday before boarding Marine One, quote, "We're going to clean up our cities," he said. "We're gonna clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war, that's common sense." In the same interview, Trump doubled down on his concern about Chicago's crime rates.
Excuse me. Do you know how many people were killed in Chicago last weekend? 8. You know how many people were killed in Chicago the week before? 7. You know how many people were wounded? 74 people were wounded. You think there's worse than that? I don't think so.
In the meantime, local leaders aren't buying it. Mayor Brandon Johnson called the threats beneath the honor of our nation, and Governor J.B. Pritzker warned the city won't be intimidated by a wannabe dictator. Meanwhile, some events were postponed amid fears of federal enforcement operations. Police in Liberty County, Texas, are looking for a man who opened fire at a bar early Sunday, killing 1 person and injuring 5 more. The suspect showed up around midnight at Las Locas, a sports bar northeast of Houston. He ordered a drink, hung out for about an hour, then went to his van. After coming back, he opened fire on the patio and drove off in a white van with no windows and a long scratch on the side. Authorities say he was alone.
We spoke with a waitress that waited on him. She stated that he ordered his beer. He sat there, he drank his beer, didn't speak much, and the only thing he would do is say yes and no when he wanted one, and went to the restroom and left, and then all of this happened. We did observe him speaking to a few people inside the bar, and we're attempting to see if that's people that we've already interviewed.
6 people were shot in total. 1 man died at the scene, and 2 were airlifted to the hospital. Police haven't said anything about a motive or the victims. Meanwhile, police are still searching for the shooter and asking anyone with tips to come forward. Jury selection kicked off earlier today for Ryan Routh, the guy accused of trying to assassinate Donald Trump last year while the president was enjoying a quiet Sunday morning on his West Palm Beach golf course. 59-year-old Routh decided lawyers are overrated and is representing himself. Judge Aileen Cannon, Trump's former pick for the bench, led him but kept public defenders on standby in case things go sideways. On the day in question, Routh poked through the golf course fence with a semi-automatic rifle, a bulletproof plate, and a backpack full of gear. Secret Service opened fire. He dropped his weapons, ran, and got arrested nearby. Nobody was hurt except maybe Routh's ego. Authorities also found documents listing Trump's appearances and dates in true Routh fashion. He challenged Trump to a golf duel. Quote, "He wins, he executes me. I win, I get his job." Experts say self-represented defendants rarely win with high-profile cases. With 4 weeks set aside for the trial and jury selection already underway, the only real question is how much chaos Routh will bring before a likely guilty verdict. If the Supreme Court says no to Trump's tariffs, the U.S. could end up refunding money to other countries, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent warned. Quote, "We would have to give a refund on about half the tariffs, which would be terrible for the Treasury." Trump used a 1977 law, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, to set his tariffs. A 7-4 appeals court said that law doesn't give him the power to do that alone, but the tariffs can stay in place until October 14th, while the case moves forward. Trump warned that refunding the money would be a disaster, and Besant said tariffs are meant to fight fentanyl and fix the trade deficit. He also said Trump has other legal options, but they might weaken his bargaining power. With 3 Trump-appointed justices on a 6-3 Supreme Court, aides are confident the ruling will go their way, and if not, other old trade and emergency laws could still be used. 5 people were killed and 12 others injured earlier on Monday in a shooting at a busy bus stop in North Jerusalem, according to Israeli police. A security officer and a civilian at the scene shot and killed the attackers. Israeli police released images showing paramedics tending to the wounded, people fleeing, and broken glass across the road and sidewalks. The attack happened at a major intersection at the northern entrance to Jerusalem. Hundreds of security forces were deployed to search for additional attackers or explosives. The Israeli military said it is encircling Palestinian villages near the West Bank city of Ramallah as it ramps up defensive operations. Hamas, in the meantime, hailed the attack as a natural response to the occupation's crimes, without claiming responsibility. Donald Trump says he's finally close to ending the Ukraine war again. Speaking Sunday outside Air Force One, Trump promised reporters he would get it done with Russia, calling the conflict a waste of great humanity. He said he plans to speak with Vladimir Putin very soon and insisted past wars he handled were impossible to settle, except this one, which he's been promising to wrap up for months now.
So, no, I am not thrilled with what's happening there, I will tell you. I think it's going to get settled. So I settled 7 wars. This, I would have said, would have been maybe the easiest one to settle of all. But with war, you never know what you're getting.
Trump also mentioned Gaza briefly, saying he's working on a deal to free Israeli hostages without giving details. Quote, "We're working on a solution that maybe could be very good." Meanwhile, on the ground, the war isn't following his script. Russia launched its largest aerial assault on Sunday, firing 810 drones and decoys, killing 4 civilians and hitting a key government building. Ukraine says it shot down 747 drones and 4 missiles. Talking about crashing the party of the century, a wedding in Glendale, California went from "I do" to "Who stole our cash?" when a thief waltzed in and made off with up to $100,000 in wedding gifts. Caught on camera, the mystery man is in all black, apparently thought he was at a casual cocktail party. He strolled past security, ordered a drink at the bar, leaned over the dance floor, grabbed a box of envelopes full of cash and checks, and just bolted straight into a waiting black Mercedes-Benz. Smooth if you ignore the felony part. The bride, Nadine Farhart, said the theft left her speechless. Quote, "It's the last thing anyone thinks about at their wedding." And the groom, George, added, "It was a wonderful party until this happened." Guests were left stunned. The music stopped, and the couple is now down 8 figures in gifts despite hiring extra security. Police are investigating, proving that even the fanciest receptions aren't safe from a slick criminal with a taste for tuxedos and envelopes full of cash. The 2025 VMAs were chaos, glitter, and nostalgia all rolled into one star-studded night. Lady Gaga ruled the night with 4 wins, including Artist of the Year, before hopping over to Madison Square Garden for her Mayhem Ball tour show. Ariana Grande snagged 3 awards, including the big Video of the Year for Brighter Days Ahead. Millennium nostalgia hit hard. Mariah Carey rocked the stage for her Video Vanguard Award. Ricky Martin received the New Latin Icon Award, and Busta Rhymes claimed the inaugural Rock the Bells Visionary Award. Ozzy Osbourne also got a star-studded tribute featuring Aerosmith's Steven Tyler and Joey Perry, Youngblood, and Nuno Bettencourt. TikTok-fueled newcomers made waves too. Alex Warren took home Best New Artist, Megan Maroney claimed the new Best Country category, and Doechii won Best Hip Hop and Best Choreography for Anxiety. London just got a new Banksy, and yes, it's causing a scene. The mysterious street artist dropped a mural outside a court showing a judge walloping an unarmed protester with a gavel. While the artwork does not refer to a particular cause or incident, activists aren't buying it as just art. They say it's a jab at the UK government's recent ban on Palestine action, which led to nearly 900 arrests at the London protest over the weekend. One organizer said it powerfully depicts the brutality unleashed and called it a reminder that crushing civil liberties only strengthens dissent. Security didn't seem too thrilled. Officers quickly covered the mural with black plastic and set up barriers complete with CCTV cameras. Pose Up San Diego, the world's longest-running dog surfing competition, hit Del Mar Dog Beach on Sunday. And let's just say these pups brought their A-game, sunglasses, wagging tails and all. But don't let the cuteness fool you. Every wave ridden helps orphans' pets. All proceeds from the Surf-A-Thon go straight to programs at the Helling Woodward Animal Center, turning a day of fun into a day of saving lives and giving a little joy to those who need it most.
I've gotten messages on social media of, hey, I was having a bad day, this and that, and then I saw your dog wearing sunglasses. It made me smile, or they were catching a wave, or
Again, we want to give a
you don't know what people are going through. So it's our little mark on the world. I mean, it may not be changing the world, but we're changing at least one person's day, and that's huge.
So while humans are busy stressing about taxes and traffic, these dogs are out here catching waves, raising cash for orphan pets, and proving once and for all, dogs do it better. And that's all for now. The top stories of the day, no fluff, straight to the point. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and drop a comment. I'm Kat Pockris, and I'll see you next time.